Let me know when you're ready. I just did. No, you're a lot heavier than you look.
I had a big breakfast.
Steve! Cap, come in. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm still on the helicarrier.
Where are you? I'm grounded. The suit's down. Sorry, Cap.
Don't worry, I got it.
Your true believers, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and again, like the previous two videos, we're looking at who's in it, what's it about, when's it going to be released, where will it be released, where can you go to see it, and how it may set up the future of the MCU going forward, as well as potentially tying up loose threads from the end of the Infinity Saga. So let's dive straight on in. Who's in it? Obviously, Anthony Mackie's back as Sam Wilson / Falcon. Sebastian Stan's coming back as Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. The most likely villain for the whole series is going to be Daniel Bruhl's Baron Zemo, who we know is coming back. He's quite notably coming back in his comic accurate purple hood, which is exciting. Emily Van Camp's Sharon Carter, Agent 13, is going to be in it. Wyatt Russell is going to be playing John Walker / US agent, in what many people believe is going to be a pro-Accords Captain America substitute. Obviously we know that Sam Wilson was Steve Rogers' pick, but the government and the Sokovia Accords still exist, and so many people think US agent's going to be on that side of things, be the government approved Captain America substitute. George St. Pierre is coming back as George Batroc the Leaper, setting this up very nicely to potentially have some more Thunderbolts appearing, with my thinking anyway, is that most likely the Thunderbolts are going to start off as a pro-Accords Avengers team in the same vein as like the Dark Avengers, and then end up becoming the more grounded sort of street level, as opposed to like the cosmic threat, but they'll end up becoming the Masters of Evil, which is essentially just an evil Avengers team made up of bad guys. And then the last cast member I'm going to put up here is Carl Lumley. He has an undisclosed role, but a lot of people think he's going to be playing Isaiah Bradley, which is going to be helping set up... Is it Isaiah or is it Eli that ends up becoming Patriot? I think it might be Elijah Bradley ends up becoming Patriot, which is the Captain America of the Young Avengers. So the official synopsis for Falcon and the Winter Soldier reads as follows. Following the events of Avengers Endgame, Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes team up in a global adventure that tests their abilities and their patience. At the start of the series, Sam will have not taken up the mantle of Captain America after being gifted his shield, by Steve Rogers in Endgame. In his stead, an alternative Captain America by the name of US Agent is now the country's new superhero. In the comics, US Agent underwent the same procedure that gave Jessica Jones her powers, which is interesting to note, and I will address why in a second. Instead of using his powers for good, however, John Walker is pretty much a villain, and it's possible to sound like he will have to defeat him, which we kind of assumed anyway. Steve Rogers' pick's gonna have to beat the government's pick to then become the people's pick, because ultimately it doesn't really matter what the government puts in front of them if the people don't support it as their hero. Because that's ultimately what this comes down to when we're talking about superheroes. Elsewhere, Baron Zemo is back wearing his famous purple mask. His first appearance was in Civil War, and considering that Batroic's also back, it's possible the two are working together to execute a master plan. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier shot in Prague and was going to film in Puerto Rico, but didn't because COVID. The fact that they didn't film in Puerto Rico means that there's potentially a story that is supposed to happen in Puerto Rico, which would then open up Falcon and Winter Soldier to not being a limited series and could potentially get greenlit for a second. Just like it seems another one of the Disney Plus shows is as well. And if it's going to happen to one of them and then to a second one, could potentially happen to all of them, meaning that it's going to be really interesting to see what they're going to do if they do give WandaVision a second season, so, considering that these are supposed to be limited series only. So when's it going to be released? We don't actually have an official date, however, based on the time after Black Widow that it was sort of set to be in the original San Diego Comic-Con panel when they revealed what the Phase 4 slate was looking like, and the fact that we know that it is being, it's in the final stages of production at the moment, we can assume potentially mid-May. That means that Black Widow has enough time for its opening weekend in theaters, which anyone who knows anything about movies knows that's where you can get like the best sense for how this is going to play out. As a film, like most of the box office earnings come in that opening weekend, and it then means that the week after that, the second weekend that it's in theaters, this will then open, so that the die-hard fans who went opening weekend can sort of continue that storyline. As I discussed in the Black Widow one, there could potentially be a post-credit scene with Winter Soldier showing up, and having that sort of continue. If Zemo and Beatrice Taliba are going to become Thunderbolt members, Thaddeus Ross is in Black Widow, so there's a couple of ways that could tie in. So yeah, mid-May, May 14 would be the Friday, which lines up with January 15th also being Friday as well. And then it also means that we've got January, and then February, March, April, May. So it's starting off that next sort of third of the year, as well as coming out very close to its companion film, if we want to sort of look at it as them being paired up. Where can you go to see it? It will be on Disney Plus, it being one of the Disney Plus shows. And how is it going to help set up the future of the MCU? As I mentioned before, it may set up the character of Patriot for the Young Avengers. It may also hint at the origins of Weapon X, which did sort of start out as being the Super Soldier serum. Captain America is Weapon 1, and the fact that he is Weapon 1, part of the reason that Deadpool respects him in the comics, does also mean that eventually the Super Soldier program goes into mutants as well, so possibly helping set up the future introduction of the MCU's Wolverine, which could be really cool to see. I don't think he's going to appear in this. I definitely think it's going to be, if they do go this way and sort of explore the Super Soldier Serum and all of the projects that have come from it, Weapon X is undoubtedly going to be mentioned, which means that it'll be sort of that stepping stone towards getting Wolverine. If we assume Thaddeus Ross's involvement, as I have, obviously more members of the Thunderbolts to be added. US Agent, as we said, was a villain in the comics. Batroc the Leaper, Zemo, they could be joining Taskmaster. That already gives us 4 people on this Pro Accords team. And obviously, if that's going to be the case, and we're going to end up with 4 people, 3 of them coming from this series, the name Thunderbolts is going to be dropped in reference to Thaddeus Ross's nickname from the comics, which is Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross. The other thing that I found very interesting, the bit where it said that US Agent underwent the same procedure that gave Jessica Jones her powers, with Charlie Cox and John Bernthal in talks to reprise their characters from the Netflix side of things, with them in talks to reprise those roles in the MCU proper. Wouldn't be surprised if Jessica Jones is gonna potentially come along as well as part of that. They may want to explore that backstory. Unclear how much of the Jessica Jones canon from the show that they'll include, but if they do decide to go that way, IGH is probably gonna rear its head again, which could be kind of cool, and it would then mean that the only defenders we're missing are Luke Cage and Iron Fist, and there's upcoming places where they could show up as well, which would be really cool. And as I said, Deadpool respects Captain America. He is also, he also gets his abilities from the Weapon X program, so there's a couple of ways there that they could tease Deadpool's arrival. We do know that we're getting a Deadpool 3. There will be a video for that in and of itself later on, but this could be where he gets teased as well. Now, Falcon and the Winter Soldier will consist of 6 episodes, and they are similar to WandaVision, expected to be at least an hour in length, whether that's 52 minutes or 1 minute and 3. It'll be in around about that hour apiece, which should be good. But yeah, this one's pretty self-explanatory. It's gonna just sort of be somewhere between like a buddy comedy with Falcon and Winter Soldier, and also like a quote-unquote coming-of-age story, with Sam realizing what it actually takes to be Captain America, why he was chosen, the history of the role, and why the government's so keen to reclaim that title from Steve Rogers and have other people from using it. But yeah, that's all I've got for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're new here, and the notification bell if you want to see more videos when they go live. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and until next time guys, keep your head screwed on.